Hey guys, what's up and welcome to the Cap reading. I hope you're all doing well. So let's start with your tarot and see where it goes. Okay, you got Strength, the Two of Cups, the Page of Cups. Okay, have you guys met someone new? What's going on here? And the King of Pentacles. So this looks like it is either a relationship that's like a budding relationship, maybe even a friendship, or like a relationship that starts as a friendship. When you're kind of you're coming out of like a dark period or something, and you're ready to be seen again, you're ready to get back out there, like something like that. I wonder if this is also just someone who like has got their you-know-what together. Maybe they own their home, maybe they have a good job, maybe they are responsible for other people, or they show a lot of signs of responsibility in maintaining that consistently. Maybe orange or red stands out for whatever reason about them. So Cap, it looks like there's someone, if this is a romance, it looks like it's starting as a friendship and it's growing into something that can be very stable. I think it's very like playful still right now, but I think that's actually where it's heading is somewhere really good. I do see that you might have some questions about them. Maybe you're able to ask them and you're met with understanding and kindness and like honest answers and stuff. So that all actually feels really good. I get that whatever you're learning about them is something you want to keep pursuing within them. And that if you guys run into like a blip or anything, it looks like it's easily resolved. Like it looks like you can call out a misunderstanding or an issue and it gets marked as a misunderstanding on both ends, and it seems easily moved through. If this is just you, Cap, it looks like this is some kind of a business that you are cultivating where you're kind of still in the beginning stages of making it happen, but ultimately your goal is to get to a place where this is like supporting you. And maybe that means that you have other people that you want to support as well and that you are responsible for. Pretty much all the things I said if it was a partner. If this is a self thing, especially I'd say a business or something to do with resources, money, time, effort, then that's how you're showing up here in the future. So it just looks good. We got some emotions or maybe some hidden emotions coming out. Okay, let's talk about that. So we have the 5. I also get that there's a lot of grace over whatever this is. Like there's room to make changes and to correct it. It looks like you're self-correcting things along the way. If this is the relationship, it looks like they are too, and there's kind of this camaraderie about that, where you both understand that you're learning together and everything. See, but there's something here about hidden emotions, feeling betrayed, not knowing where you stand with a certain person. So let me see who that is. And you got the Chariot, so it looks like you are moving on and moving forward, like for better or for worse, from someone or from something. Why do I feel the need to pull one of these? Maybe it'll tell the sign, if you know their sign. Maybe it'll kind of describe the situation. Ascendant, entrance. Cap, maybe this other person has a Cap rising, if you would know that. Ascendant is also Aries energy, but let's see. You could have passed up on something while you were with this person. You could have passed up on something that felt like it was really true to you when you were with like a past person or something. And I don't really know how else to explain that other than just you could have wanted to go in a direction where you're like, no, I know this is where I'm going in my life, and they just like wouldn't hear it or couldn't support you in that. And maybe that's something that you're, as you come back to that part of you, these feelings come up. I'm not sure. So the ascendant. In a natal chart, the ascendant tells a story about how you walked into this life at your birth and how you walk into any new situation. It describes the door through which you see the world and the world sees you, your filter system, and hints at your awakening consciousness. The ascendant, also known as the rising sign, describes the degree of the zodiac just coming up over the eastern horizon at the moment and place of your birth. How do you see the world? Hold on. You know what? Something stands out here where it's like how you see the world and how they see the world are very different. I think you are dealing with a past person, or maybe this is even indicative of like how you used to see the world and how you see it now. I feel like someone from your past sees a very narrow view of the world and you see it as very expansive, or there's so much out there. Where it's like when you think about how you see the world, I think there's something coming through that says you might have been around a lot of people who were very like negatively minded towards the world and like what the potential was for it, and just kind of being like, no, look around, it sucks or something like that. Maybe that's how you were. I feel like when you actually feel like, how do I feel about the world? I think it's actually a place that you want to be or that you want to improve. Like, I think that you don't mind putting work into that to make it something better than it already is, you know? I think you have a bit more of a, I think you have a bit more, I almost want to say like there's grace coming through in your perspective. So I wonder if you were kind of around someone who was just very negative, or maybe that was yourself, you know? Maybe that was just you. And now there's this like, whoa, the world is my oyster. There's tons of possibilities and potential. Like, what do I want to do today? It seems like is more of the narrative that's going on within you now. Take a long look at the assumptions and presumptions through which you filter your experience of reality. Really look at how your privilege, trauma, or certain attributes of your history can distort the reality of the moment. Do what you can to dismantle those obstructions so you can see the whole view. Open that aperture. Which also kind of in like a photography setting just kind of means let a little more light in. Conversely, look carefully at the signals you send off. Do they match your intent? Do they say you're fine when you really need a hug? Are you trained to sound modest or apologetic when really you know what you're doing? Do you act like you know what you're doing when you don't? Notice what you project onto the world and take responsibility for how you are seen. I feel like for some of you guys, there's things that you work at really hard, and it's almost like maybe you question those things a lot. I feel like when I'm reading this, I feel very self-critical, or like a self-critical energy. And I wonder if, Cap, whenever you're, I wonder if your tendency when you say like, how do I feel, is to almost be like, well, I look around at all the injustice and I'm just pissed. And instead of like, I'm hurt by the injustice and I do need some support through that. Like, I almost think that you got a ooey gooey center in you, that I don't know that you always feel comfortable letting be there, you know? But I think that that's actually a part of you that you like to be connected to, is kind of your softer side, or your more being in tune with those harder emotions. I think there's something like very validating about experiencing those. And I wonder if if this is a past relationship where you felt like your emotions weren't validated. You likely got into it because someone previous, like a caregiver, a parent, a guardian, wasn't validating those emotions as you were growing up. So it kind of seems like to me that maybe this is a phase where you're learning to let your emotions kind of be there. And right now you might be in something where it feels good, or where you don't like to talk about it when it doesn't feel good. And I think that something's come up, or things have come up that feel like they're not very specific, but maybe they are, and you're kind of like, you don't always want to comment on them, or you don't always want to talk about it. I just feel like you're getting that piece back of yourself, where instead of self-criticizing, you're almost like becoming more able to validate your own emotions, more able to like give yourself the kind hug or the softness that you're needing when you're overwhelmed and when things are happening that are that feel like chaos, that feel like destruction, you know? I think you're actually a lot more sensitive than maybe you used to think. The ascendant is where you become visible. If this makes you nervous, investigate what needs to be healed or where you need to grow your confidence in order to feel comfortable being seen. If you are asking about a project, look for what needs to be repaired or improved before you hold a press conference. The front door is only one part of the house. Be willing to look beyond appearances and into the heart. Don't count on others' ability to do so too. Over time, your reputation is built on what you do, not how you look. So maybe you have an important like meeting or something coming up, and you're trying to clarify what the point of that is. Look for what needs to be repaired or improved. So it's almost like, Cap, it almost looks like you're identifying things by first being upset or angry with them, and then you're realizing there's legitimacy to how you're feeling. And I think that you might have Sag in your chart, because this was a really strong theme in that reading, where it's almost like, I think you're realizing that there's more validity to what you're experiencing than maybe others have made you feel, or than what you've let yourself believe, that you've let yourself believe enough to do something about it in support of yourself. And instead of having this self-critical eye, I think now is a time where you're able to look out and be like, I don't need to be critical of my reaction to how I'm feeling about what's already happening, but I might need to be critical about how I move through that to get something to change. It's like giving yourself space to breathe again, and just like be in your own energy, and to trust that. It feels like you're coming out, like you're blooming or something, Cap. Um, let's pull... Actually, I'm not ready for that right just this moment. I want to get one of these and see if there's anything else I want to talk about here before I get... Okay. There's something that you have started or you want to start that's coming back around, okay? And maybe it's about a love. Maybe it's you're taking some kind of responsibility in your love life, and you're doing it alongside somebody else, like treating you well. Maybe that's also to do with like family or something like that. It seems like that's more centered around a relationship, and that is going good, and we see that clarified up here. This could also be where you were doing some kind of self-care, you fell off the bandwagon, and now you're like recommitting to that. Maybe you were in some kind of a group or did some kind of like one-on-one thing where it was really beneficial for you. You're also opening up and talking about how you're feeling. I think to someone that you trust. Like, I think you're slowly letting them know the thoughts that are going on in your head, where you are critical of yourself and you don't always like yourself, or maybe you feel like you have an inability to just like see things clearly a lot of the times, or where you just feel like you don't always want to be here or something. I do feel like this is you talking about it, maybe even joking about it, but still trying to open up about it. You might struggle with depression, Cap. You might struggle with kind of like feeling like the ball is rolling and things are moving. It might feel like stop, go, and it's so much energy to just like make the ball roll again. And maybe something with like money or some kind of, I don't know, I'll just read this card. We've got lack of completion, shortcuts, delays, emptiness, deficiency, disharmony, and fear of travel. The things that stand out to me there are like maybe you have some kind of a vitamin deficiency or like a physical deficiency. Maybe you struggle with anxiety and depression. Maybe you have some kind of a fear of traveling or a fear around traveling and like moving or something. Maybe there's also like kind of this fear that you're at disharmony with the world or the universe or your own fate or something. It's like maybe you think that you're struggling to like find your own purpose or something like that. And I think what's funny is that you're already on that journey. You're like struggling with something and talking about it is one of the surefire ways to let someone else who has emotional intelligence and can perceive you accurately. It's one of the things that lets others know that you're committed to that path, oddly enough. If you feel like you're working on something, but you have imposter syndrome and you don't always believe in yourself and you don't always like yourself and you get frustrated easily and whatever, this, that, and the other thing, and you're starting to open up and talk about it, like, Cap, I'm just going to tell you now, you're on that path to you're already walking it. You're already in line with your life purpose in that way. You're already in line with the good things that are meant to be with you and work with your energy the exact way that you are. I keep getting this image where it's like you're on one railroad track and you're trying to hop over to the other because you think that one gets you to where you want to be, but it's the one that you're on that gets you to where you're meant to be, and where you thrive the most. Like, instead of jumping into someone else's timeline and going and like trying to do that, it just seems like you're really in the right place. As difficult as things can be, you're in the right place to just kind of keep chugging along, like slow and steady. And kind of like, I don't know if it's work through these fears, but it's certainly identify them and identify how you're feeling a lot, and then go and like you're talking to someone about it. I honestly think that's all the universe wants you to be doing right now. Like, in terms of your life path or your life purpose or your own personal responsibility, like to yourself, it seems like that is your self-care right now, is things centered around expressing your emotions, and having someone mirror them back to you in a way where they're validating them, where they're hearing them with empathy. So the only reason why I say that, Cap, is because it almost feels like, to me, it feels like when I look through your lens at how you might be seeing your life, it's that things aren't moving fast enough, or things aren't changing enough, or you're not improving enough, or you're not consistent in your improvements. It's all that self-critical eye, and that somehow you're behind in your own life while the world is like moving and hustling and bustling around you. Maybe you're not at a job that gets you to your dream house. Maybe you're not in a community that helps support you and your family or uplifts you, or that you can lean on and you can feel like you have a role of support towards them too. Like, maybe you notice what's missing, and you're feeling like it can't happen soon enough, the correction of those things to implement them. But I think that you're right on time with just acknowledging them. I think that's the phase you're in. I don't think anything is supposed to change right now except for just how you view yourself, and how you spend time with those things that you find long enough to figure out what you can do about them. So if you feel like you're behind, you feel like you're not on track, it's like you're on track and you're right on time. It's just, I think sometimes what society can give us the messaging of is that if you're not overloaded, you're not doing enough. If you're not exerting 1,000% energy and killing yourself in the process, you're lazy. But that's not healthy, nor is it accurate. And I think you're in a time where you're giving yourself what you need. You're giving your life what it needs. You're giving the people in your life, or who you're responsible for, what they need. You're doing it in your best way, in the ability that you have to do it. And I honestly think that's enough. You're growing. It's going to get better. It's going to improve, but there's no reason why you can't enjoy your progress at this stage of it, let alone at any other, So I think I kind of want to tell you, Cap, like, chin up. You're doing a great job. You're probably the only person telling yourself you're not doing a great job right now, I did get a reading a long time ago, like years ago, and it was a Cap reading, and I think about it often, where it was like Cap is just extraordinarily perceptive to what others want from them. And sometimes it can be easy to confuse what's expected of you with what you expect from yourself. Just genuinely, if you had nobody else in your head, interfering with your own communication with yourself or influencing it. Like, what would you hold yourself to? And I think it's way more relaxed and at peace and harmony than what the world can put on us. And this is you settling into that, letting the dust settle, and then being like, I'm right where I need to be, and this is the way that I grow. And if I try to do it the other ways, I just get burned out. So let me do it in a way that works for me, and everybody else mind your business. And like, I'm growing in the same ways that everyone else is growing, but I'm doing it in the way that it's actually efficient and effective for me. And I think that you're being encouraged to lean into that, because if it's working for you and nothing else has, keep doing it, you know? So that's what I see for you, Cap. And I think I'm just going to leave it there. Do you guys want an Angels of Abundance card? You can pull one. Detox your friendships. Your abundance flow is being affected by the people with whom you're spending time. So be discerning about your associations and relationships. Choose to be with people who are inspiring, generous, and supportive. And then you have bountiful nature. Spending time in nature helps shift you into a higher vibration and reminds you of God's infinite abundance. Go outside and enjoy a walk or hike with your pet. Meditate beneath a tree, garden, or sit under the stars, or do some other activity to connect with the limitless vastness. Yeah, everyone's going to just look at you like you're off in la la land, but you're repairing trauma. You're doing deeper work than people can see on the surface. And if they don't understand that, they're lucky. They're not better. They're lucky. That's all I want to say. Okay, I'll see you guys in another video. Bye.